All right, YouTube. So we've got a oil pressure sender that is sending bad signals. Sometimes it works great. Sometimes it just pegs out at the top. Sometimes it doesn't read at all. There's a quote-unquote common issue out there that the oil pressure sender goes bad, but you always want to check stuff before you just throw parts at it. So I looked online. There's a lot of videos out there that just say, oh yeah, this is how you replace it, and then it magically works. Well, sometimes it's not the sender. As common as they are, sometimes it's not the sender. So you always want to double check and make sure your system is good before you start throwing parts, because those senders, I think they're like 12 to 15 bucks depending on where you get them. You can probably find them online for 10 bucks or cheaper, but from a parts store, they cost a little bit of money. They're not expensive, but they cost some money. And I don't have all the money in the world, and it's all on a budget. So but there's one guy online that I did find, called, his channel's Power Nation. He does a lot of really great videos actually on how to fix Jeeps. He has a YJ as well. So check out his channel, and he has a great description on how to actually quickly check the entire system, from the connector at the pressure sender all the way to the gauge. It's really quick and simple. Basically, you just hook a ground wire from the sensor wire to your battery, so to your negative, your ground on the battery. All you need is one of these guys, a little feeder line with two alligator clips on it, and then turn your key on and see what the gauge does, and you can check it. Also, because you can do it in the reverse way and make sure it grounds out or pegs down at 0 or with power to it, or if you ground it out, hook it up to the negative of the battery, and it pegs out at the top, then you know it's working fine. But he's got a great video that shows how to do it. I'll try to get a link in there, share some love for some other YouTubers out there, but we'll check it out on mine real quick and see how it goes. Alright guys, so I got my oil pressure sender connector off. My flashlight will work. That's the connector there. There's the sender there. Actually, when I pulled it off, it's actually full of oil. So I'm gonna guess that the sender is probably bad, and it's pushing oil through the sender itself, causing it to ground out, cause issues. But we're still gonna check it either way. Okay guys, so this is the setup I got. It's just a 1-pin connector. I actually have these little adapters from working on cars that have the kit's just got a variation of different plugins, so you don't have to actually pierce wires. Plug it in. It's big enough that you can put a multimeter lead in there, or alligator clips fit in there. So like I said, when the ignition's on, the gauge pegs out to full pressure, but then when you ground it, it should go around here. As you can see, the oil pressure is now at 0 when it's grounded. Take the grounding wire off. And now it's reading full pressure again. So, like I said, most of the time these are a common problem with these, that the oil pressure sender goes bad. But with these, you always want to check everything, make sure it's actually what the problem is, and not just throw parts. So anyways, like I said, check out that Power Nation video. He's got a really good description on how this works, and actually has some better camera angles than I do. But his sensor is a little different. I think he's got a little bit of an older one, but that's the sensor I had. And the pressure gauge is right there where the hot spot of light is. You can see it's all full of oil in there, so it was causing it to ground out. And we'll just get a new one and get it replaced. Alright guys, put in the new sensor, connected it, started it up. Regular pressure readings. So was the sensor all along, but at least now you guys understand how to check it out properly without just throwing parts at it. So next we got to do is the battery gauge. That thing just pegs out right from the get-go, so we'll see what happens with that. Used a 1 1/16 socket for the to get the sensor on and off. It's a little tight in there, but if you use a deep well socket and an extension, you can get it out with a ratchet, and it just doesn't have to be tight. It's just finger tight basically. Put some thread sealant on the threads, screw her in by hand, then tighten it up, kind of just like an oil drain plug, and then you'll be good to go. See you next time, guys.